everyone say a big hi to Lindsay and Vivian. How you doing, guys?
Hello, thanks for having us.
Really good. How are you?
I'm doing really, really good as well. Thank you. And you're over in Fife at the moment, aren't you?
We are indeed, and it's raining, true to form at this time of year, but we're all cozy in here with you, so that's okay.
Well, I'll tell you, I'll try and keep you warm. I'll try and keep you warm. But congratulations on the nominations for Album Listen and also 52 Reasons for Song of the Year as well at the BCMAs. How do you feel?
Thank you, first of all, and really, really good. We had no idea that it would ever get this far. We're just delighted to have been heard by the industry panel, but this is actually great, just to go even further than that, and hopefully we can get there. But you know, we're okay if it's not to be, but fingers crossed, thumbs up.
It is a phenomenal album, I'll tell you now, that it is brilliant. And what's really good about the British country music scene, and I've said this a lot lately, and apologies to the listeners for the repeating and repetitiveness, but each artist has their own vibe, has their own, you know, it's not a conveyor belt of all samey. You've all got your own groove, you know, and yours has definitely got more of a sassiness, a crunchy, a raunchiness about the and it's got a claim even from, like, is it Glenn from Squeeze as well? Is it? He's acclaimed it as well.
Yeah.
He loves it. Yeah. Wow. I mean,
we supported him a while back, so yeah, it's quite cool that he's a fan.
Well, why not? We're all fans, you know, and I can't wait to meet you guys down in London in November as well, isn't it? That's going to be quite mad, isn't it?
Yeah, you're not going to remember a thing the next day.
Maybe you do. I just take a little. I'll let you. I mean, you're Scottish, aren't you? So you can drink. I'll leave you to it. You know. But no. I mean, the inspiration for the album. Where did it come from?
Well,
it's a bit of a question, that,
the actual individual songs came quite naturally and quite quickly as well. We didn't intend to sit down and write that album as it came out. Actually, we looked at the songs that we were either writing at the time or had written in the back of our previous album, and they just very, very comfortably and came together under the same kind of theme, and that's the theme of mental health. And we very quickly recognised that and thought, you know, this is a great. There was actually going to be 12 songs on it, but we just didn't make the 12. So we had that debate about which two to drop. So it was always going to be a fully packed album of what we kind of hope was going to be all A-sides, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
We didn't want any weak ones or anyone that would be skipped. We wanted people to listen to its entirety from start to finish, because there's a story and a message there, and of course an emotional journey when you listen to the song from start to finish. So it actually came together easier than you would think for what's involved in each song, but the recording process itself was heavy going and exciting, much more involved in the first album that we did.
The inspiration, just to say, like, the songs were written about things that we'd experienced ourselves, things that we saw other people close to us experiencing, and just things that we'd observed. Obviously, just opening your eyes is like a whole world for a songwriter. So we were able to take loads of different things from just looking around and listening, and listening, funnily enough, because the album's called Listen. And like Vivian says, it just all very naturally came together, and we put together something that we're really, really, really proud of. We're delighted that we have that just as a bottom or the top level, even delighted.
I'm watching a recent kind of posting from one of my favourite writers, Sean Colvin, recently, and she just said that she's doing a 20th anniversary tour, and she said if that album had been the last one she'd made, she would have been happy. And we've spoke about that, like, we've made this album, and if it didn't ever happen again, we would be happy that we made this one.
I think that going forward is great, because I can certainly, you know, the sort of mass-produced albums out there, how many artists would actually look back and go, oh yeah, that was my legacy, you know. And it's a good attitude to have, because if you treat everything, not just in recording, but in everything that you do every day even, that's my last day, then you're not going to go far wrong, are you? You're always going to produce and get better and better and better, aren't you?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a mixture of all sorts of music. There's Americana in there, there's blues, there's folk. And that is in line with a lot of Scottish music, I would imagine, because there's a heavy foundation of folk music in Scotland, and always has been, you know, fantastic music over there, and Celtic kind of traditions as well. And you can hear that, certainly that vibe with it, with a lot of your music.
Yeah, it's something that I've never considered much as a songwriter. Like I'm like, oh, I want to write Americana songs, and I kind of focus on that, and I think they sound like that, but I never really take on board the fact that I've pretty much lived here all my life, so it's going to kind of seep in there somewhere. Whereas your songs are probably a bit more obviously vibed by Scottish folk, but it's not to take away, like, obviously it's there in mine as well. It's I think really cool.
I think what brings out more of the Celtic sound in that album is actually the musicians and the style. We were very lucky to be able to work with the musicians we did, and they've all got their own uniqueness in there, and with a kind of merge of them all, you can hear in every song just that wee bit of Celticness, Scottishness flowing through the song. So yeah, we're really, really lucky that we got to work with such good musicians. And
that'll set you apart then from, you know, from other artists, you know, maybe south of the border, that you have that kind of vein of Celticness, want of a better phrase, in there. But whereabouts in Fife do you hail from?
We are pretty central. We're based in Glenrothes just now.
Love it.
So
you have stories.
Not that I can share. No, no, I can. In fact, in my other capacity until I retired, I was involved in business and worked for quite a lot of companies and travelled extensively in Scotland. And Glenrothes was one that I visited very, very often, and always looked after me there. I always stayed over. But the thing was, first time I ever went north of the border in winter, and it was Glenrothes, and I can't even remember where I stayed. And I swear I got from the car park, which was about 100 meters away, to the reception, and my face froze. You know, have you got
like
the key, love?
Like the Day After Tomorrow movie or something like that. Eh?
He's like, would you like a dram? I said, oh yes, thank you. You know,
yes.
And some porridge.
Neither of us are from here. This is just where we've ended up. So I'm from through the west, and Lindsay was actually born down south. So this is kind of where we've met. It's not really in the middle, but this is a great base for music.
Yeah.
It's absolutely brilliant base, very central.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely. I know I've played myself up in Dundee, Perth. Done a little bit in Perth. And what was the other one? Oh, all in Glasgow, Linwood on a Sunday night. And Linwood is the Rangers Appreciation sort of society club. Yeah. So you have to watch your P's and Q's. And it didn't go down too well, me being me, and I knew this, and I just said, oh, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to let you know that my underpants are green and white. Well, it plays dead. What not to do in Scotland. Anyway, and there's some other tales I can't repeat on it. But no, I mean, it is, and it's same with Ireland as well, in Northern Ireland. It's just tapped full of, you know, great individualism within music, you know, and again, if you break country up, basically country was blues. Mm-hmm. You know, three chords and the truth, it was blues. You know, they didn't even have a drum back in the day. It was just, you know, bass and guitar. And then you look into folk music, and it's not too dissimilar, because you're telling a tale of life in folk, isn't it? So it is like a blender full of different music genres, I think, and you just mix it all up, you know, and put a different flavor for Americana in there. But it, like I said to you at the beginning, it is so good. And I've been very, very fortunate this year to go to the likes of Buckle and Boots, and for the first time, and a British Country Music Festival in Blackpool, and see firsthand the amazing, talented people in the UK. you know, and it's just blown me away. And somebody said to me the other day, I can't remember the artist who said it, but basically said during lockdown, they have thrown everything, including the kitchen sink, in songwriting, production wise, you know, so the quality is actually enhanced, you know, because of that dead time in COVID, in lockdown, and everybody's just sort of raised the game.
Mhm.
Do you agree?
It was all there was to do. Like there was a point where probably about 3 weeks after lockdown kind of ensued that it was quite difficult because everything stopped. There was no chasing a gig, which is kind of an exciting thing when you're doing it. I don't know, I quite like doing that. That stopped, and there was just, and it became a bit soulless. So naturally, we jumped on the bandwagon of live streams and things like that. But rather than just put the camera on and hope for the best, like we got broadcasting software and a cool microphone, and then we ended up, which is really cool actually, creating an online community on our website, which was great. It's always something that we wanted to do, and took the opportunity in lockdown to do it, and then ended up building a studio in the house, which is really cool. We've got this, sadly we're not in there just now because we're missing a cable to charge our keyboard. Our fiddle player has it, so we can't be upstairs, but for the next video. But yeah, we did all these kind of cool things and made improvements to the equipment and such that we had, and learnt loads about broadcasting.
And and we like fully built a studio, soundproofed everything, the walls, the floor. So we got drills and saws and hammers out. So we just learnt some new skills.
Which in turn has like improved our engagement online, because that's obviously going to be something that will kind of keep happening. Although we're doing live gigs now, it's happening less. It is there, and we're set up to have just like create content and make really nice looking videos and all of that sort of stuff. So bar the performance, because we actually took a break because we've been like full pelt for so long. It was just
10 years.
All of the exhaustion from that just completely overwhelmed us. So it was nice to not necessarily pick up the guitar and try and write a song, but do something else that's going to that has longevity with our career as well. So it's another string to the bow, for want of a better pun.
And promote our album, because our album, we launched our album a week before lockdown, which was unfortunate. So it was a case of, well, let's use this time to actually promote it and go through all the radio stations and things like that.
Absolutely. And I think that's what's gained popularity and nominations as well for awards. You know, that it is. And again, I think not from an artist point of view, but certainly from a listener point of view, and people are clamoring for new music and listening to new music and hooking onto that, you know. And again, it stands out in the crowd, your music, you know, and in a good way, in a very, very good way. And it's just great to have the UK. I mean, one of the things that I'm trying my very, very best to do is to try and get somebody in America, some radio station, to accept a syndicated radio show that I could do with just pure UK and Ireland acts. You know, amazing. That would be absolutely fantastic, because you know, everybody that I've seen and heard, you know, without exception, can actually hold a head high if he was into Nashville. You know, it's equally as good as some of the stuff, if not better than some of the stuff over there, you know. And
great to have people like you championing the music from here. When it sort of came into force in the early 90s, particularly the early 90s, it's like the UK just jumped on it and have never let go. There's still a line dance place down the road in Kirkcaldy. They've had their 25-year anniversary. It's great. Like, people absolutely loved it. And why not? Because there's so many brilliant country, Americana, roots musicians here. And to have some kind of platform to be heard in somewhere like Nashville is so important, because even for them, with the history that they have, obviously, there's so much that they might actually be missing, which is hard to say about Nashville because it's Nashville, but there is. Like,
no, there's a little bit of blinkedness, and there's a lot of political ways, shall we say, within the Nashville scene. You know, they want somebody to be at top of the charts, and they've got to have this and they've got to have that. And it's like, you know, if you haven't got a tailgate then you know, with drink and Budweisers and whiskey, you've had it really, haven't you? You know, you're not going to have a hit, let's say. And some of it's good. Some of it I won't even play because I'm going, I can't even recognize it anymore. Whether that's right or wrong, I don't know. But certainly from my point of view, you know, I like good music, but sometimes you're thinking, where they going with that? They're not telling a story. They're just sort of, hey, you know, and putting a bass. I'm doing the caps, you know, backwards and stuff like that. And now and again, the artist will bring out a song saying, I love country music, just to give us a nod to go, we're country, you know, and you're going, really?
Really?
Yeah, I'm not going to say the artist are in case I get sued, but you know what I mean? I love country music, and I was brought up on country music, which they probably were, but you forgot all that, you know, and it's great to hear natural progression within the UK of artists like yourselves, like I said, continually improving. You know, because if, like you just said, then from your album from there, you've now produced an album that even if you don't make any other album, God forbid that won't happen, you're happy with that one and you're proud of that, you know, and that says a lot. That does say a lot. So you're welcome. I'm okay to bribe. No, I'm not. But two buds. No. But no, and again, what's happening around the corner then? What's going to happen? What have you got in the pipeline for us?
Well, Lindsay had spent,
actually.
Lindsay had spent so much time pre-launch of the album last year creating a tour, and we had so many gigs, and of course every one of them got cancelled, some festivals and things like that. So as soon as things started opening, Lindsay was back on the trail and getting us booked in here, there and everywhere.
Yeah, we've got we quite like a folk club. You can't not like a folk club when you're up here. So we've got loads of folk club gigs, which are great. There's always that 50-50 chance we're going to go down like a lead balloon in a folk club, actually. But you know, it's one of those things. Folk take the risk because you know it can be so trad and so particular.
Yeah.
But I think because of what we've done and what we've achieved over time, people do give us that opportunity. So it's really funny. It's all in jest on the phone and stuff. I will give you a shot. Great. So we'll come to the folk club and it'll be fine.
And they like the people that go to folk clubs love banter, and we don't just play, we have a good chat. Like, we have a really good chat.
You're my kind of people.
I know, like, we're going down to this awards thing and obviously showcasing the next day, and Jeannie's like, you've got 5 songs to sing. I'm like, oh my god, we're going to actually have to not talk. Like, because we'll just like waste like 2 or 3 of our songs. It's shocking.
Wow.
So folk clubs, we are heading up north, so we have a lot of relationships with venues up north. We're travelling back there.
Over the west.
We'll get back to the west. We play at Isla Whiskey Festival every year, so we play like stupid amounts of gigs in about that amount of time, and we're going back over to do that, so that's great.
And we have one on our doorstep where we had our launch, so we've got one in Kirkcaldy, just kind of we're a fiddle player as well this time. Almost like the sequel to our launch, because nothing happened after that.
It's like almost a relaunch, but not quite. We've started actually, because it's just been the 2 of us for however long, and we've started taking our fiddle player / co-producer David McFarlane out with us. He's just outstanding in every way at everything. So he's great to have on stage, and he was really kind of, it's what the songs needed live, was just that extra lift. So one by one, as it says in the first track on the album, we're going to start adding a different musician each time. So we've got someone waiting for bass. Our drummer and piano player, they're just about to have a baby, so they need a little bit of time to just get over their life decisions, I think, and take some time to settle, and then they'll be getting involved, and we'll just kind of go from there. The banjo player, Gary, gets involved at some point. So just slowly building it, because we really want to recreate as much as we can on the CD live, because it is only the 2 of us. We make enough noise for 6 people with just the 2 of us, but having all those different kind of layers and things like that, it's just so great and so fun, and we want to just have an absolute riot on stage, really. So that at some point will happen.
I can't wait to see you guys. Are you going to be performing at the BCMA?
Yeah, but
oh, were we not meant to tell you that?
Well, when does this video go out? Because Jeannie had said, obviously, well, we are showcasing, but I know that they haven't obviously released that yet to the wider public. So,
scrap that.
Edit that out. No.
I have to edit that one out. I'll have to edit that out. But no, I'll be there actually on the Sunday anyway, and it'd be great to see you performing. And it's quite interesting when you say a fiddle player, because I think that would go down really well at folk as well. I always get this impression that there's a wee guy in the corner that said, I've got a fiddle and I can, open fire, and Aaron Sweater with a big polo neck and, a pipe, But it's great. I mean, like I said, when I went to Ireland a few times, and I find, a little bar with the jamming and the all the cracking, and I think I can just sit there and listen all night to that kind of music as well, and I think good things are coming your way. I definitely do.
Well, we hope so. Thank you.
Yeah. Well,
we work really, really hard, especially online with interaction, and
we do everything ourselves. So maybe another thing next would be to kind of seek some kind of management situation. But we've done we run our own label ourselves. Everything is us. And has been so far, and it's fun. It takes a lot though to do, and I think if you're naturally going to move to the next thing, then you need to start looking at other people who can maybe help and things. But yeah, we'll see.
It is important that, I mean, it's certainly since I've started to do the interviews, and certainly from a Nashville across the pond kind of thing, that one of the key people within the team is the publicists.
Yeah,
they will get things like this done. Take the social media away from you. They'll do everything. I mean, there's a cost involved, obviously, but I've noticed there is a stark difference between UK. I wouldn't say now, because a lot of them have actually got into this sort of field anyway now, but certainly last year, sort of mid-lockdown, original lockdown, I was trying desperately to get in touch with UK artists to get them on the show, and it was like treading treacle. Somebody go, oh yeah, that's fine. I go, I forgot about that. Yeah, I'm saying, well, I'm here waiting on Zoom. Are you coming? Oh, I forgot about it. But it's having the support bubble around you, and that includes family, friends. But from a music point of view, yes, your musos, your musicians, your songwriters, but management, publicists take you to that next level.
Yeah, it's finding that person that fits. And I suppose it's quite difficult in a sense, once you've been kind of doing this for so long, to relinquish certain things. I think I would be kind of twitching a wee bit if certain things were taken away, but it's just something that you have to do and learn.
It would also free up time for us to do what we're
supposed to do,
and that's writing and creating.
Totally,
absolutely, and it is an integral part of the jigsaw puzzle, really, isn't it? Singing, songwriting, performing, traveling, there's a million different parts to it, but definitely to promote yourselves. And that's one thing from my point of view that I've always fell flat on. I've always done, for 20 years where I've been performing, but I've never promoted myself. I've done a couple of CDs and stuff like that, to pay for the petrol and whatever, but I've always been like, yeah, it's okay. I'll have a couple of agents and whatever, but it's that I've never ever promoted myself like other people have done, and I know that's fine. That was my way. But I think from you, from a younger audience and a younger not audience, but younger professionals now and artists, it is now the norm to go from the social media, to get on the different platforms to promote yourselves. And I'm sure that come this time next year, when you've got the BCMA award in your grasp as well, but I do
we'll see.
You can tell I can do anything for a drink, but I do say that to everybody. I'll be honest with you. I can't lie. I do say good luck, but I'll be saying it to everybody. But no, I do love your music, and there's an element of it that it's reminding me of a group, and I cannot think who it is. And it's going to bug me. I can't think, and it's a Scottish group. And I'll let you know probably on the night, and then.
Okay.
Although I might not do, because it might be Flanagan and Alan, and you'll kill me. But But no, it is, and it's a group I like a lot, and I can't think of who it is, and it's gonna drive me to distraction. But as soon as I heard the album, and I was going, this has got, some of these songs remind me of, there's a flavor of elements of different things that I've heard, and not necessarily country, you know. But anyway, I will let you know. It's all in a good thing. But I want to thank you very much for coming on to the show, and I say congratulations on the nomination. And I'm sure, like everybody who's been nominated this year, have all got a chance. You know, there's no, inverted commas, no dead rubbers in there to say, oh, they've put somebody in. You know, sometimes in awards you go, they've put somebody in here that, you know, they've not a chance. Every single one has got a chance, you know. And it's been a pleasure talking to you two, and safe travels and safe journey.
Yeah, we'll see.
I look forward to more and more of the new music as well. And but if you stay behind just after we finish recording, I'll let you into a story that I can't repeat.
All right, okay.
So you take care now. All the very best to you.
Thanks very much.
Cheers. Bye bye.